course, I have to start off this first video back by being ill. Life sucks. Sup everybody, BenTheBlurr here today, and this is actually probably the first video I've done in a very, very long time. There's been a long absence, mainly because of the fact that I'm now working. I've finished school ages ago, I've got a job, I've got other things to do. And I kind of decided, you know what, enough is enough, I want to make some videos again. So, here we are. I gave my channel a massive reboot, which is why if you go on it, you take a look, all the gaming videos are gone. I decided I didn't really want to do any more gaming videos. I might do some every now and then, but I kind of wanted to do more me kind of type videos. So stuff like lists, stuff like reviews, stuff like challenges, other things like vlogs and other things like that. Kind of is a little bit more realistic. Is kind of my mood now, my taste in YouTube videos. And so without further ado, here we go. So to bring off my return, my big hiatus, for a big, you know, punch in the face, like, hey, welcome back. Today, I'm going to be doing my top 10 movies of all time list. Now, I just want to stay off from the beginning that this list is actually my personal favourite. Everyone has their own opinions. No one out there is going to have the same top 10 favourite movies as I am. Now, the reason why I put these movies in this specific order is because I rate them from different factors. One reason why the list is this way is because of the fact that it's one of the movies that has the best writing, best directing, best acting, cinematography, visual effects, but most importantly, it's the top 10 movies that I can watch a numerous amount of times and love it just the same as I watched it the first time. So those are the reasons why I've put these movies on this list. And so without further ado, let's start off with number 10. Terminator 2 Judgement Day. As a big science fiction fan, Terminator 2 Judgement Day is by far the best of the Terminator films. It's one of the time-travelling science fiction and robotic, you know, android type movies that has helped kind of define the science fiction action genre of movie making. James Cameron's directing is brilliant, and come on, it's got some classic lines in this movie like, I'll be back, and hasta la vista, baby. That impersonation was terrible, I apologise for that. But you get the point. I'm probably sure that everybody who's seen any type of science fiction movie knows this film for definite, or has most likely seen it. And that's why it's on this list. Number 9. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Filling our 9th slot is the second of the new trilogy of the Planet of the Apes movies. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was a film that I didn't actually really care about at all when it came out. I was never a big fan of the Planets of the Apes franchise, but I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go see it just to see what it was like, and all my college friends wanted to see it, way back when it came out. And I went in this film, and when I came out, it was like an epiphany had exploded in my mind. It was an incredible, moving, slowly building up the pace type of film, and it just hit you in the heart. Its cinematography was so beautiful and simple, but so well done, and it was paced at such a good rhythm. And the story is fairly simple, but it's just so. You can tell that everybody in this movie was putting in not just their 100%, but their 1000% passion into it. And that's why I really like this film. Number 8. The Conjuring. Surprisingly, this is one of the only horror movies on this list. And this is obviously The Conjuring. Made by Mr. James Wan. I think that's how you say his name. Or is it Wang? Or, yeah, James Wan. Or whatever his name is. But this movie is one of the first horror movies I actually properly watched and liked. There are a few other horror movies that I enjoy, but this one puts it right up there, mainly because it's the first horror movie I watched and enjoyed. It's got a lot of supernatural elements in it, and of course it's, you know, oh, it's horror, it's scary, and there's jump scares and all this stuff. But it's quite an interesting story, and come on, the whole fact is about the Conjuring franchise is the fact that it's inspired and based upon true stories, and that terrifies me. Number 7, Inception. I hurt. I'm ill, I forgot. Number 7 is Inception, and of course everyone on this planet knows of Christopher Nolan and knows his movies. Inception is one of his movies that has literally, like, launched the action and science fiction, you know, genre even further than any other films that come before him. The whole story is about building upon dreams and making someone think they created an idea by planting it in their subconscious. This whole story is just so twisted and manipulated in a way that it's really kind of hard to stop watching. You don't know exactly how things are going to plan out, and of course there's lots of action, there's lots of brilliant special effects, but Inception is just one of those movies I think that everybody watches and everybody likes. Some people get a bit tired of seeing it because it's on TV all the time, but it's one of those movies that, you know, it's going to be memorable for at least another 100 years or so. And that's why it's on this list. Number 6, Aliens. Now come on. You cannot say the word alien without thinking of either E.T. or the xenomorph from Alien. Aliens is the second of the Alien franchise, and that's the one where they have all the Marines. Like, you have Michael Biehn, who is in the very first Terminator movie in this franchise, and of course it had all the action, you know, the huge like energy blaster guns and stuff. You had all the soldiers, and you had the little girl Newt, who's, by the way, is really fucking adorable in this movie. But Ellen Ripley has some fucking killer lines in this movie. Aliens is just one of those movies I kind of grew up on, and I guess it is considered as a horror, but I consider it more of an action film, because it isn't really a very scary movie. It's a lot of action in it, so I don't class it as a horror, which is why I said The Conjuring is the only horror film on the list, which technically is true. Number 5, The Dark Knight. Being a big superhero nerd and film nerd like me, I can't have a top 10 list without mentioning this movie. The Dark Knight is by far one of the best written, acted and directed superhero movies, just action movies, of all time. How can you forget Heath Ledger's Joker, Christian Bale's Batman, Michael Caine's fucking Alfred? Everyone in this movie is perfect. They suit their roles really well, the cinematography is brilliant, everything about this movie is so well done that it's hard to try and think of anything really wrong with it. And come on, it's Batman. That's all you gotta say, really. Number 4, Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Now, you can't have Star Wars not on your list if you are a big film nerd and comic book nerd like me. I mean, look, I have this now. So, that was lame, I'm never doing that again. But Star Wars Episode 6 is by far my favourite. Everybody says that it's either New Hope or Empire Strikes Back, but Return of the Jedi is the one that kind of, I think, struggled to put itself out there and end the most. Because when it came out, it had been building up this hype for a fairly long time, and now it had to end in a specific way. But, come on, this film is brilliant. Luke is now a Jedi Master. He has an awesome lightsaber. The Emperor finally properly appears in the franchise. He gets defeated. Vader turns back from the dark side to the light. I mean, I just love this movie. As someone who grew up with Star Wars since he was like 4 years old, this film has a special place in my heart. Number 3, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. So, the third favourite movie of mine of all time is actually the third movie of the Lord of the Rings franchise, surprisingly. Which is kind of convenient, as it so happens. Lord of the Rings Return of the King actually won 11 Academy Awards at the Oscars. If that doesn't tell you how good the film is, I don't know what does. So just like Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, Lord of the Rings had to end in a very specific way. It had to end off in a high note. And I think this movie did that exponentially well. I mean, so many things happened that everyone's been waiting for basically since the beginning of the first movie. This film obviously skyrocketed and expanded and developed the fantasy genre and the action genre in a way that I don't really think that any other fantasy movies would probably do as well if it wasn't for the expansion of the mind and the creativity set for the development of fantasy movies. It has brilliant acting, brilliant writing, editing, everything about it is brilliant, alright? And I love the Lord of the Rings. It's just, this is my preferred favourite because it has some pretty heavy and important story arcs that finish itself off that you want to see. And that's just why I love it so much. Okay, number 2. Captain America Civil War. On the second slot of my top 10 movies of all time is the third Captain America film. Civil War is probably by far, still to date, my favourite superhero movie of all time. It has brilliant writing, and I think the Russo brothers did an exceptional job at nailing the development of this movie. They set a certain pace, and they never tried to rush it or slow it down. They kept the pace a very steady line, and of course that steady line helped bring in all the tension that kept building up and down and up and down and up throughout the whole movie. You know, Chris Evans as Captain America, RDJ as Iron Man, everyone. And come on, this movie helped bring in 2 of the major MCU characters to date, Black Panther and Spider-Man. You can't really go wrong with them 2, so. But this movie helped define the new style for the MCU. It helped create a new kind of development idea and direction for the MCU movies to take a step towards. It was the bridge that crossed every single river that they laid down for the first 3 phases. And it was perfect. And number one, my most favourite movie of all time, to date, Independence Day. Independence Day is one of those science fiction action movies that, of course, has helped shape not only the science fiction and action genres, but also the disaster movie genres franchise as well. I don't think any alien invading spaceships and, you know, action movies would be here today without the success of Independence Day. Granted, it is only 22 years old. It was released in 1996. But still, at the end of the day, I don't think any of the movies like Twister, you know, 2012, any of those types of movies would be here today if it wasn't for the bar that was set by Independence Day. The movie was brilliant. I loved it. I loved every second of it, and it's got the perfect writing, editing, storyline, directing, acting, cinematography. It's got some brilliant one-line, and I don't think I would be who I am today without this movie being there since my childhood. It's helped shape me, and it kind of inspired me to make my own movies. This is the one movie that I watched that I was there like, I want to make stuff like this. And of course, if this movie was created, I wouldn't be doing these videos, talking to you guys. And it's the one movie I can watch a million times over, and I will love it just the same as I watched it the first time. And there you go, guys. That's my top 10 favourite list of all my favourite movies. So, I'm not sure what other types of videos I'm going to do. Maybe TV shows, games, comic books, etc, etc. Leave your ideas and suggestions down below of what other challenges and stuff that I could do as well. Check out Golden Star Productions. Check out Petalbox Outdoors. Check out Zombie Chicken. Check out my lovely girlfriend's channel. We've got all types of videos and stuff from there. And of course, I'm glad to be back, and I'll be making more videos soon. So thank you so much for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button down below. And I'll see you next time. So, peace out. That was terrible. I also have to remember not to be ill the next time I make a video. That might help. Yeah, that might help.